Recording now. We are recording. Can you hear me?
Yeah, fine.
Okay, so we are connected. I'm John Maloof, not in the flesh, but I am here, and you are there, and you can see boy, you look highly professional there. You have many books.
Yeah.
See, and you can welcome to my office. Big trees. I do have big trees. Whoa, go all the way
Huge
up.
tree.
I have a few books. But man, you are the scholarly one of our
Yeah,
pair.
got a few books.
You've done very well in the reading department. Well, let's get down to business. What's on your mind today?
I have social anxiety around meeting new people, interacting with people, asserting myself.
Okay, you have anxiety, and it's socially oriented because it involves other people. Meeting new people?
Yeah, it starts off with meeting new people and
Uh-huh.
then getting to know them. I know them, but they don't get to know me.
They don't get to know you because
I listen to their story and I ask them questions and I think, oh, this is how a conversation goes. You ask, I'll ask, you'll ask about me, I'll ask about you. But it always seems so one-sided. And if I talk about myself, I feel like I'm being egotistical. So I just hold off.
so you don't disclose much
Yeah,
about yourself, and so you may not feel as connected to the other person. The relationship may not get as close.
that's right.
Yes. And what's the effect of this on your life?
Um, I've got friends going back over 20 years that we have a very superficial relationship. They think I'm great. I think it's because I listen to them. They don't know much about me.
So these other individuals, they like what you do with them. It works
Yeah,
well for them,
yeah, it does.
but you're saying it doesn't work that well for you.
I tolerate it, but it doesn't seem normal to have a one-way friendship.
It doesn't seem right where you help the other person and you find out about the other person, but you don't disclose anything about yourself.
Yeah.
And does that mean you don't get any help for yourself or any social support?
Um, I don't find I really need social support. I'm pretty independent. I don't ask for other people's help. And someone said that to me before. You never ask for help. Well, I don't need help.
You don't need help because you're
No.
an independent person.
Yeah.
But yet you're coming for help now,
Yeah.
in essence, by seeing me. Tell me about why now?
I guess I'm realizing that if you've known someone for 20 years and they don't know a lot about you, that doesn't seem right. It must be with me. I need to change something.
So you think something's wrong because it looks wrong. It looks like it's not part of the norm. It's not the ordinary way people
Yeah.
interact with others. And you want to be part of the norm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hold on one second. I have a phone call. I'll be right back. Yes. Yes. In a little while, I'll call you back. Thanks. All right, I won't take any more phone calls. So the goal you have, or what you're presenting me with, is you want to be more socially open to others. You want to act more like you perceive other people acting, where you disclose about yourself. You don't see a desire to seek any sort of social support.
No.
But do you get social support anyway, whether you seek it
From,
or not?
from very close friends. I've got a couple.
All right. So you get as much social support as you want.
Yeah.
All right. What will happen if you disclose more to other people about yourself?
Um, I just don't think they'd be interested.
You don't think other people would be interested in you. That's why you don't tell them initially, because they're not interested. They may not care about what's important to
Yeah.
you.
Well, when I meet someone new, they'll be telling me about themselves, and I think, okay, now there should be a part in the conversation where you switch and say, what about you? But it never seems to come up.
So the other person doesn't bring it up, and you don't just throw it out
Yeah.
either about you.
Yeah. I
You're not
overthink it.
inclined because your life, your experiences, you don't think would be of interest to others.
I think they would be, but there's no break in the conversation.
Oh, you don't see an opportunity for
Yeah,
it. You sound to me as if you are in some ways a bashful person, that you can listen to others and interact with others, but you're hold back.
yeah,
That sounds like you. And if you disclosed more about yourself, if you somehow found a way to insert more of your life into conversations, you think your life would be better.
possibly.
You don't know yet. Well, let me ask you about emotional matters. Sometimes people, when they're on the bashful side, they tend to get depressed. And so they don't feel so happy. They feel sad. How about you?
I'm pretty cheerful.
So you're a cheerful person.
Yeah,
You have a sense that you're not doing something right socially that would make you feel more connected.
yeah, that's it.
Would and you're thinking also that by disclosing more, that would show more confidence with others, and you'd be happy about that then because you
Yes,
like to show confidence.
yeah, I think so.
Yes. So and with some people, you do talk about what's important to you, about your emotions and your goals and so on.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Um, so what would you like to accomplish with me?
Like to not overthink things if I meet someone and speak to them, not overthink the process of the conversation. Just it should come naturally.
You've mentioned the word should a couple of times, that you think in terms of shoulds, that I should do this and life should be like that. And the should is an important concept because it puts pressure on us to do something.
Mm.
We want to do, well, we feel a pressure to do what we should do. You're talking about it should come natural and there should be opportunities, but you don't always see them. It doesn't happen like that. I get the impression you have a high standard for yourself, that you want to perform well in life.
Yes, I'd say so.
Yes. And so, and you think of that in terms of should.
Yeah,
There are things for, are there other things that you should do that you don't see yourself doing?
I think I do most other things. I'm happy with everything else.
You're happy. So this is the one element of your life that isn't quite right because you're not doing what you should do, which is disclosing. And if you do disclose more, insert yourself more in conversations with others, um, then your life would be better. You would see yourself as performing better, being part of the normal range of human interaction. And do you think you would get something out of it then from the other person?
I think so. It seems so. Many relationships I have are superficial. It doesn't go beyond the weather or current events.
And you now, when you're talking about relationships, are you talking about romantic relationships or friendships or something
Friendships,
else?
yeah.
Friendships. You want to have deeper friendships where you are honest about yourself. The
Yeah.
person knows about you, um, and then you would feel as if you're doing the right thing. Then you're doing what you should do, and you would feel happier then and more connected
Yes.
to the other person.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't feel like
Um,
I can assert myself with. I've got friends who can and say what they think, whatever's on their mind, and with no fear of
let me
consequences.
stop you right there because you were saying you want them, you want your friend, you want to be like your friends, you want to be able to assert yourself to and usually when we talk about assertion, part of assertion is just saying what you feel, talking about your emotions and
Mm.
so on. But part of it is saying no, and part of it is asking for what you want. How do you do in those regards? Do you ask for what you want? Do you say no when you want to say no?
No,
Neither one of those.
no, not really.
So those are the big three of assertion: talking
Yeah.
about your feelings and what's important to you, asking for what you want, and saying no when you really don't want to do something. Can you give me an example of when you wanted to say no and you did not?
Recently, someone asked me to be in a study group, and I don't really want to be in a study group with this
Uh-huh.
person. And
Uh-huh.
I said, oh, okay. I just thought if I can, I should. I just didn't have a good excuse for saying no, other than I don't want to.
Okay, you had another should in there. I'm looking for the
Yeah.
shoulds. I'm counting the shoulds now. And if we look deeper into that should, you should do it because of what? To be a nice person, to be a perfect person?
I usually need a good reason other than I don't want to. That's not sufficient.
That's not sufficient for you.
Yeah.
It may be sufficient. Well, the other person, whether it's sufficient or not, is going to probably take no for an answer, but you don't utter the no.
Mm.
All right. It's almost as if you don't have the right to want what you want.
Yeah.
Yes. And how about asking for what you want? Can you give me an example where when you didn't ask for what you want?
I can't think of any. I usually just work it out for myself if I want something.
Okay, so you don't ask for assistance. So you're self-reliant,
Yeah.
but that leaves you feeling, I suspect, disconnected from other people.
I just can't think of anything I want off the top of my
There's
head.
nothing you want from other people or you want them to do that you can think of.
No.
Um, do you ever want them to praise you or offer help, whether you want it or not?
Um, Praise is always good, but I get praise.
You get enough praise,
Yeah.
what you want. All right. And so what you would like to, I'm gathering the message here, the big message for me is you'd like to be more assertive.
Yeah.
In some ways you are assertive. Tell me in what ways you are assertive.
Um, if something isn't just, if it's not right, I'll speak up
Mm-hmm.
and I won't back down. But it has to be very clear cut.
Okay, so it has to be clear. Otherwise, you might doubt yourself and just remain silent.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
if I was a union rep at work and when the boss did something wrong, I would take him to task.
Uh-huh.
But then he could say, you're wrong. And I might have a huge self doubt. And then I have to go and check with other people. Am I right? Am I wrong?
Uh-huh.
But work is clear cut. With friendships, it's a little bit different.
Okay. All right. You get into the role, perhaps, which helps you at work.
Yeah.
And you haven't found exactly the right role that you want with regard to friendships, where I think you pride yourself on being self-reliant, taking care of yourself, but also leaves you feeling somewhat disconnected
Yeah.
from others, not as close as you would like to be. And if you did feel closer to people, you would feel happy about that. You would think, this is the way to live. This is what I should be doing.
I think so.
This is how my life should be. So if we talk about you being under assertive, who's to blame for that?
Oh, me.
You're going to blame yourself
Yeah,
for that.
of course.
Yes? Because where does that blame come from?
I just I don't like conflict and I don't want to come across as vulnerable. So if I keep up this wall, which is stopping me from having deeper friendships.
Well, let's talk about the vulnerable. You don't want to appear as vulnerable because why does that scare you?
Because I'm usually the one that helps other people. If I'm not vulnerable, that means I'm not much good to anybody.
Sorry, if you are vulnerable, then you're not good to anybody. You're not a worthwhile person if you're vulnerable.
I can't support other people if I'm vulnerable.
And it's important for you to help others or to support them.
Yeah.
You feel good about that. That helps your self-esteem, helps your mood to do that. So you're happy to be in that role, the helper role. What good one for if you want to become a psychologist. Yeah, but you're not happy to be in the other role where someone is helping you, where you're vulnerable in some way.
Yeah.
And where did you get that idea that that's a bad thing or a weak thing?
I guess my parents were abusive, and if I showed that I was vulnerable, it just got worse. So if you keep it together, people can't get to you.
You built a wall to protect yourself when you were young.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're maintaining that wall now, even though your parents, whether they're still around or not, they're not so dominant in your life as they once were. But you've now used that wall. You now use that wall with other people. And it
Yep.
keeps them somewhat as a distance. You're at a distance. You're happy to help them, but not so interested in going the other way because you fear people will do what if you're vulnerable?
Could do anything.
Could abuse you.
Possibly.
They could take advantage of you.
Yeah.
They could make fun of you.
People do that, and that bothers me.
You don't like that.
Oh,
No.
I can be self-deprecating, make jokes about myself, but some of my friends will take it too far, and I keep a straight face. I don't let them see that it bothers me.
Because that would be vulnerable then.
Yeah.
If you showed that, or if you said something, if you asserted yourself then, they might interpret that as being vulnerable.
Yeah.
You're a person that can be bullied.
Yeah.
This is the risk children take if they seem to be affected by bullying by other kids. But you had it by your parents. You had it from your parents, which makes it very tough because it forces you to be, if you have no other protector, if your parents aren't the protectors, if they're the ones suppressing you, you rely on yourself and you may not trust other people.
Yep.
Ah, I see. So what's the way out of this then? What's the way to reduce that wall safely? Because we're going to have to go brick by brick there, I think, and see how it works. You don't want to get rid of the whole wall.
No.
That's too scary. And boy, what if it is as bad as you thought, as bad as it used to be, as you remember it being? You may want to go, I won't say should, you should go one brick at a time, but it might be safest and wisest to reduce the wall a little bit and see what happens. Yeah?
Yep.
I imagine it took you a while to build the wall, and
yeah,
as a child, and I would imagine it would take a while to get rid of it, to do it safely, cautiously, so that you see, oh, maybe I can reduce the wall with some people, but not with others. But maybe with more people than I am now, and perhaps faster than I am now. And I just wonder whether you're tougher now than you were as a child, that you can deal with whatever people throw at you, whether it's abusive or unfair treatment. Do you think you're tougher now than
I think so.
Yeah.
I worked in retail, and you got a lot of abuse in retail. It's
There's
hard
a
to be
lot
up.
of abuse. That's right. I've been watching a show on Netflix called Rostered On. It's about
I've seen
people.
that.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
what I think. My life was a little like that, and I'm not in retail. But yeah, so I have a better idea thanks to that comedy about what it's like there. All right, well, we have things we can work on. I think I can help you.
That sounds good.
It's mostly going to be up to you, of course, because you got to do the things in your life. Take the little hope would be little chances and see what happens.
Yep.
Shall we talk again in a week?
We can do that.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, John.
It was very good getting to know you. And
Likewise.
I mean, you took a step, didn't you, in the actual direction you want to go by just talking with me about this. It shows some vulnerability. It's a little bit of a chance that you're taking. You took a brick out already with me. And now you can think about, did that work out right? Was that safe? What did I learn from? Is it something about him or his role? Or you can think about it, because you are a thinker. I can tell by looking at you. and analyze this and think, all right, so what do I go next? Another brick with him, a brick with somebody else. These are the things to work on. All right, very exciting for me.
Yeah. Thanks,
I'll
John.
talk to you again in a
Speak
week
to
or
you
so.
soon.
Thanks, Evie. Bye-bye.